You got Jason, Lauren, Clint's here as well, and so is this man.
Introducing our next guest. He's an Australian comedian, a regular guest on Have You Been Paying Attention, and half of the hosting panel of Channel 10's The Cheap Seats.
Congratulations, it's just chlamydia.
You've made that call before.
Please welcome to the show, Tim McDonald.
Hey!
Good morning.
Get yourself checked, guys. That is the message after that grab. Clint, yes, it can happen to anyone.
It can.
Well, you just spent a few days in Bali.
I have.
You just, you probably want to
come back with a variety of things.
Well, you're not sure. You're not feeling very well today. Maybe you've picked up some
maybe.
barley belly.
Maybe barley belly.
Speaking of barley belly.
It's nice to hear that after I've shaken Clint's hand and given him a big hug. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Well, the Cheap Seats, Tuesday night, 8:40. I'm off.
If he's there.
But isn't there some barley belly going through the Cheap Seats team as well?
Well, this is the thing. We had a grab of me and Mel, my co-host, this morning, and we just got the text that Mel's got a bit of a stomach bug, and we're not sure yet if she'll be on the show.
What happens if one of you are sick?
So what happens is we go into a locked sort of ballot at the top of Channel 10. There'll be black smoke, and then when we have got a new co-host, white smoke.
Yes.
I will also point out...
Because when one of us are sick, we just don't even notice they're not here.
No.
After
we
he
just
told us...
push on.
To be honest, I've listened to the show, and you couldn't tell if one of you didn't rock up.
What I also love is after Tim told us she was sick, the next thing out of his mouth was, obviously on the air, they'll say, we're all on board and she's feeling fine.
Oh, I missed that bit.
Lauren's just...
So we're both there. We're ready to go. Tune in, 8:40 Tuesday night. We'll both definitely be there.
There's that
Thank you,
trade
Lauren.
secret.
I have a rule on this show. If I'm not looking you in the eyes, I'm not listening. And I mustn't have been looking you in the eyes when you said that. I'm so sorry.
Lauren, I've done this show long enough to know that you don't listen to anything the guests say. That's fair enough. You're in your own little world there. What are you looking at, by the way? You booking another holiday or...
I know. We're back on day one. I'm exhausted.
What time do
already.
Entrecôte bookings open?
Not early enough. Not early
Hey,
enough.
speaking of the Pope, can I just talk about that? Because that is the big news
Please.
story on at
Yes.
the moment. We'll be covering it on the Cheap Seats. We've watched all the coverage. Obviously, it happened this time last week, Monday night. Channel 7 had full coverage here.
We have special coverage of the Pope's passing at 9:20 tonight, just after the premiere of Farmer Wants a Wife.
Right, just what he would have wanted. Right after Farmer Wants a Wife, it was lovely. And a beautiful touch. The flannel shirts were flying at half-mast, so that was lovely.
Anybody read it before they're live and think...
Maybe we just don't say that.
Yeah.
I feel for those news presenters, and I'm standing next to one of the greats, Clint here.
Oh, yeah, one of the greats. Thank you.
But
Tim.
genuinely, you would be reading stuff on the autocue for the first time.
Well, sometimes it just pops up and you just got to read it.
But
It happens on Weekend Today all the time.
Are you always very prepared, Clint?
Always very prepared, well researched.
Yes.
No, you watch. Am I?
Yes, very
You know
well
what?
researched.
So speaking of well prepared, you'd be all across the conclave process,
Oh,
Clint.
yes,
And can you just
yes.
give us a summary of what we can expect over the next sort of 9 days?
Well, some of the best cardinals from right the way around the world are currently gathering in Rome at the Vatican. I don't think it gets underway because there's a mourning period. Is that right?
Yeah,
It's like
nine days of mourning, which is the same for Geelong fans after they lost to Carlton, by the way. But then it's all about who's going to be the Pope. Who are the
Yes.
front runners? Who are the favourites? I've got a favourite candidate. He's an American.
Cardinal Joseph Tobin could become the first American Pope. The Archbishop of Newark, New Jersey is a weightlifting reformed alcoholic.
So if anything, he's overqualified. Wouldn't
Is
that be
he?
amazing?
Oh, wait.
I
A
love that.
weightlifting former alcoholic.
Alcoholic.
He's a real man.
It'd be the first time the Popeman bill has an interlock fitted to it. But wouldn't that be something?
You just asked Clint if he was heading over to the Vatican and he laughed
did.
at you and you said,
Because
no,
they-
I'm serious. They're sending all the real journalists.
So who at Channel 9 have they sent over?
Well, surely Carl's
all
gone.
the foreign. No. Carl
Did he?
stayed here. Carl would have, as you say, burnt up on entry. No, all of the all the correspondents were there. No, it was a correspondent job. It wasn't a
Whose names
Yeah.
briefly escape you?
yeah, some of the best ones.
Who have you got over there at Channel 9?
That's a really good question.
Would it
Who
be
do we
Edward
have?
Godfrey? Clint?
Edward Godfrey, yes, he's
and
there.
Charles Croucher?
Jess
No,
Millwood?
Crouch is tackling the election, the
election.
federal
Oh,
election.
There's a lot going on
Yes,
in
Jessica
the world. isn't there?
Millwood, she's there
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
Now,
Well done.
you asked Clint if he was going, and and then he laughed, and you said, no, I was being quite serious because a lot of journalists are going.
Yeah.
And we're just at this stage starting to wonder if Clint can be considered a
Oh, yeah.
journalist.
Why?
I don't know if you saw what he was tasked to do. There's all this breaking news. We're in the middle of an election campaign. The Pope has
Pope's-
passed away.
You've got to be across it all, don't you?
America is,
Yep.
people think they're ruining the world
Yep.
with their tariffs. And this is what Clint is doing on the Weekend Today show. He was doing
What is
samba
that? That's
dancing.
For listeners, that's Clint with two Brazilian Samba dancers.
Look at the pants he's wearing. We'll put it on our social.
What the
Maybe
hell is
put it on your OnlyFans. That might be more appropriate.
They're very tight pants.
What are you doing, mate?
Are they your Brazilian correspondents?
They were actually at the Vatican.
Very tight lemon trousers.
What are you doing?
Look, you know what? For the sake of entertainment, for the sake of the show, you just have to do these things.
You know how the Pope was quite sick a few months back?
That may have killed him, to be honest.
We had a long lunch on the Friday, and I distinctly remember Clint going, "Oh, God, I hope he pulls through this weekend because I'm going to have to cover it, and I don't really know how it all works."
Well done, Clint. You Wikipedia'd that pretty well. So
Thank you very
we'll be
much.
watching Channel 9.
Thank you very
Hope
much.
he makes it till Monday, then it's the weekday's job.
And when I say we'll be watching Channel 9, I of course mean Channel 10.
You got it.
Cheap Seats 8:40
Yes.
Tuesday night.
Yes.
With Mel.
Possibly.
She's fine.
Might be
What
a-
are we
what are
talking
you
about?
talking
Might be a
about?
Samba dancer.
The Cheap Seats tomorrow night, 8:40 on 10 and 10 Play. Tim McDonald, always a pleasure, mate. Good to see you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
Jason Lauren.
Wake up feeling good. Follow them on the socials.